Hello, this is a super quick just testing of the Nano Banana, which is very hard topic today. So I just did a few tests to see the result. So first you have to go to the Gemini 2.5 Flash and then activate the Nano Banana, and then you are able to upload the image. I think it has a pretty good consistency across multiple images. As you know, the challenge to create a AI for 3D is if you have a complicated interior space, you have to do some cleanup work before you put into any 3D AI, like when you are on Travis or Rodin. So seems like Nano Banana could be a nice way to clean up the model. So first I have this uploaded image. This is just some student project from my studio. As you know, some interior it would be pretty difficult if you just threw this directly into 3D AI. So you have to do some kind of cleanup work. So I find out using Nano Banana could be a way. So first thing I did is I want to remove some of the details such as ceiling lights, and I want to create an isometric view. So the first attempt is not very successful. I think is imagining this building in a much larger scale rather than a single room. Then I instruct, hey, go ahead, create a line work of the floor plan. So that seems like it forced Nano Banana to go back to this single plan, which I think is matched pretty well with our original rendering. If you pay attention to the pool in the middle, you have the columns, windows. Then I will ask, hey, go ahead, remove, keep this as isometric. So it's got isometric view. It still have the sofas, chandeliers, and green plants. So next one, I will ask the Nano Banana to remove the furniture. It generate a cleaner version. Then remove the light fixtures. So all the chandelier is gone. Then I remove all the plants. So at the end, it create a pretty clean, just line work of the building. I think this will be much easier to work on later. And also I ask the AI to create the roof model for me. So first part, it doesn't really count the isometric view. So I reinforce it has to be isometric view. It should match the footprint. I think it's create a dorm and a window, but doesn't really match the footprint very accurately. But that's okay. This could be done in Photoshop or later I manipulate in 3D program. So then ask the AI to create a photorealistic renderings. So this is the roof looks like now. I did the same thing for this wall and the columns. So you create a photorealistic rendering of this. So I download this image. I think this is much easier if you compare to the original, you know, first person view, right? The human perspective. This is more like isometric view. Then I bring this into one of the many 3D AI. This is called Hyper 3D with Radon. And then I just simply loading this image, and then I'm able to download. I think I like the GLB file, so I'm downloading this into into my local computer. So this is the process I think could be pretty useful, especially if you are doing interior rendering. Sometimes you probably do not need the roof. Just create this isometric view first. Okay, so hopefully I think this will be a new approach. You can think about using the Nano Banana to create the consistency from your original drawing line work all the way to the final 3D model with trellis or rodent. Okay. Okay. So here's another model for the roof. So I just using the same image from Nano Banana, download this guy and then bring that into the Rodin program, then loading a single image, and then I can download the 3D version. I think OBJ or GLB. This will be a very good way. Let me just copy both. Okay, GLB. Yep. All right, that's it. Hello, here's another quick attempt on just using another image made by my student. I will try to use the Nano Banana to clean up the model. Then I will create a 3D geometry out of it. Right. So first thing I did is to remove the background, keep the building, get rid of the landscape, the trees. So I add a script to remove these elements. So that's the image I have. So that looks good. Then I instruct to further remove the interior. I don't want to see the furniture inside the building, so they are all gone. And then I say maybe want to make the wall as a different color. So in the future, if you want to do segmentation, this might be a good way to do. So wall is red, the glass is blue, so I can instruct the Nano Banana to do it. And also I ask, this is a try to imagine the building from a different camera angle and also keep this as isometric. So I think this second angle looks pretty consistent. So if you do have like a multi-view 3D AI, you can feed multiple views. I also manually removed some of the lines. I think I taken me a long time to figure out how to get rid of this through the prompt. So instead, I just said, hey, why not I just manually remove this in Photoshop? So the result will be is actually looks like this, right? So I manually got rid of the lines. Then it's really up to you to choose which program you want to use to generate 3D. So for example, I can use Trellis. This has been demonstrated before. You can upload the image, generate a mesh or Gaussian. I can also using the a program called Raden. So keep in mind in this one, if you do have multiple views, you have to be a pro member. If you only have one view, if you are using the free member, you can only do one image for now, unfortunately. But you can just say generate, create. So we'll come back to this later. So this is Raden. You can also try the triple. This is one I did with a single image. I think it came out pretty nice. It's definitely smoothed a lot. They do have a few other options like retopology. I would recommend to do this in Rhino if you don't want to consume your credit. It's actually pretty easy. You can clean up your model. I think I demonstrated in the last tutorial. You can definitely check it out. So this is the triple. For the trellis, well, I think we already demoed. Well, let's maybe just do this really quick so we can compare the quality. So this is a trellis. I will just go ahead, generate the file. Okay, so back to Raden, this single image has generated this rough estimation. So if you're happy with it, then you can click confirm. You can definitely dial up and down the triangle numbers. More triangles, it take more credit for sure. So I was just using the default, okay, generate a form. We'll come back. I think the trellis is done. It's pretty fast. So if I'm pretty happy with trellis, I will go ahead download the GLB file. And later I can bring this into Rhino program to clean up. I think the model came out pretty nice. Definitely there's some cleanup work to do. You could definitely do a sub-D version in Rhino to make it more organic. Okay, this looks nice. Then I think the triple we already showed, and the Raden is done. Okay, I think the Raden model definitely try to keep things symmetric. So for any views which is not visible, it create a symmetry, and then I can download and later play with it. Okay, so this is roughly the whole process. How you can start with something a little bit complicated, full of details, into something more abstract. All right. Here's another example for more complicated interior renderings. Typically, this kind of rendering is very challenging to create in 3D because most of the 3D AI need a transparent background, right, to show the 3D sculpture objects against the white color or transparent background. So if you want to do this kind of complicated interior, there are some tricks might work. So the first thing you probably want to try is to, instead of generating the entire module in 3D, try to isolate some component from this rendering, which later you can use in a repetitive way. So for example, if I look at this image, first thing I did is I got rid of the people. So you can give some instructions to remove people from the drawing, so you can get this really nice drawing. Once you have it, still is quite challenging to create in 3D. So what I did is I created an isolated column with a capital on top. So I think this is doing a pretty good job. You kind of get this mushroom component, right, from this entire interior structure. Then if you want to make it not translucent, because translucency could causing some issues in 3D AI, so I can changing this to a solid white color. Once you download this image, and later you can use program to actually translate this into 3D. So I did this with Raden, and the model looks actually pretty okay. Um, it's 3 dimension, and it preserved most of the details here. You can also try other programs like Triple. Um, so this probably can work a little bit better. Depends on if you are a pro. Can you bouncing up the triangle values? But this is actually the result coming out of this program called Raden, and then I can download. Right. Later, you can refer to my Rhino tutorial how to translate this into a sub-D model so you can maintain the smoothness. Okay, so hopefully I think this will be helpful when you have a super complicated interior space. Try to isolate some unique pieces from it, and then you can generate the 3D little by little, and then later you can reassemble them, right? So if I have a shingle layer, for example, from the ceiling, I wouldn't do this as a single interior shot. I will isolate that shingle layer and then create a 3D. All right. Here's another attempt in Nano Banana. I make this model as a CAD model style, solid gray color. Then translate this red color into this solid gray. I think this works pretty well because I think it's relatively diffuse shadow, easier for 3D. Then I instruct to create some isometric views. I say one view is from top down, another is from bottom up. It seems like it doesn't really understand this very well. The goal for me is more like I want to create the interior, right? So I don't really care too much about the top part, but I really care about the bottom part. So I tweaked the prompt a little bit. So I said is create additional isometric view of the structure, imagine the perspective of a person standing directly beneath beneath the structure, and looking upward. So it seems like this time the Nano Banana understand this pretty well. Um, it create these nice views. So later I fit this into a 3D AI. This is called Meshy. It does take a little bit longer time to generate, but you got 4 versions. You can compare. As I mentioned, I don't really care too much about the top part, only the bottom. So look at the bottom part. You can definitely see which is, works closer to what you like. It does generate something like the the nice details here on the pillar, on the columns. This looks like a mushroom now. But anyway, this is the whole process, how you can pick one that you can confirm, generate a higher resolution version of, from this. All right. Well, I hope this tutorial will be useful for you just to understand the complexity of your rendering and then figure out a way to kind of break apart the drawing into pieces, and then you can build little by little. Thank you.